Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Acura MDX. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah, for giving me some time with this MDX. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you don't already know, the Jody Wilkinson Acura does not charge markups on their cars, so if you want a great deal on a new Acura, definitely reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 290 horsepower and then 267 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go with the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood, we've got tons of body lines, but it actually looks really good. Now, popping down below, we've got really cool looking daytime running lights with the LED headlamps. And then we have Acura's signature grille here with the giant Acura logo there in the center. And then I like the trim piece off to the side here, and then also down below. I think it's pretty cool. Putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the style here with the new MDX. Covering the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255/55/19 in the front and over in the rear. And then you guys can see the wheel design here. Again, this is more of like a baseline MDX, so a little bit more simplistic. We've got the unpainted fender flares in this particular car, and then you guys can see we've got lots of silver trim also along the bottom as well. But the mirror caps and the door handles are body painted. And then here's our full side view with the MDX. Pretty big beast. Now here's a quick look at the key fob. You guys can see we've got our unlock function or lock function. The opening here for the hatch, Acura logos all over, and pop it open. And popping inside, you guys can see MDX here on the covering, and then we've got our little 12 volt here in the back as well. Now the third row is folded down, so you can see with the third row being folded down, you've got quite a bit of storage space. And when you're all done, just press this button right here, and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now taking a look at the tail lights here, you guys can see pretty cool design, and then of course got all of our badges here on the back. And then I like the covers for the exhaust tips. Those are crazy looking. And wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the design here on the new MDX. Now, popping inside, it's actually soft touch here at the top, and then also, of course, down below as well. I do like this trim piece that goes across. That's pretty cool. And yeah, the handle has like a nice chunky feel. And then here are the seats you guys can see with all the stitching and everything there on the side, and then all of the adjustments as well. Now, legroom back here is really good. We've got a little storage pocket, and then you guys can see we've got some vent action right there, and a bunch of charging ports as well. And then headroom back here is also really good. And by the way, for the third row that you can't see, we'll just pretend like the third row is right here. You can fit kids back there. I would recommend you just stick with kids because it's in this segment of SUV where the third rows aren't very big. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again with the soft touch and then all of the padding here, and then look at the trim. And for the sound system, it's pretty sweet. Memory seats, and then a quick look at the mirrors themselves. You can see all of our window controls here with your mirror adjustments. And then here's the front seat. Again, you can see with all of the trim and then your power adjustments there on the side. Pretty normal looking pedals. And you can see we've got our parking brake right here. That's for the safety tech, your stability control. And the steering wheel is power adjustable. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got really nice trim all around. Paddle shifters down the back for the 10-speed automatic. We have our adaptive cruise control with our steering assist, and then volume controls for the center stack as well. And of course, our stalks there on the back of the steering wheel. So here in the center, we have this full digital gauge cluster, which I think looks great. We can scroll through a bunch of different menus, see different bits of info on the car. And then also we've got some drive modes. And notice how those will actually change kind of how the gauge cluster itself looks. So I think that's also a cool feature. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution's pretty good. Now, as to the rest of the infotainment system, it's all controlled via a little keypad, which does take a second to get used to, but once you get used to it, honestly, it's actually a pretty easy system to use overall. Now you guys can see with the dash, soft touch all over, and then I love the black trim that goes across there. And we've got our climate controls, tri-zone climate, so dual for the front, then you've got the rear climate zone. Heated seats, which actually have their own automatic setting, which is cool. I just think that's a fun feature. Your drive mode select right there is that little dial, and if you guys are wondering, we've got a normal, sport, comfort, and snow mode that you can go. between. Nice little video game sound when you change modes. And then you get your auto stop start here, brake hold, the transmission select with all the buttons, and then USB action right there. Got the whole control area here for the infotainment system, some radio stuff next to it, and then just storage space there, kind of random. Some cup holder action, and then this is your wrist rest for that little keypad, and then wireless phone charging pads right behind it. And then we've got a pretty decent sized center console here, some USB action and all of that. Nice padding here on the top, and then a pretty big glove box as well. And then this actually has a panoramic center at the top as well. Sorry, there's quite a bit of glare, so you guys aren't really going to be able to see, but 2024 MDX, and this is just like an MDX. It's pretty base. Anyways, total MSRP is $53,845, which is the same price as like a Honda Pilot, which is crazy. Anyways, let's drive it. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors. We got the rest of the rear, and let's set off. I've got the all-wheel drive split showing so we can see where the power is going in the MDX. And I do want to mention I will also review the Type S as well. So for those of you that want to see what the upgraded powertrain is like, I'll have a review on that. It's this blue one that I'll be reviewing. Beautiful! Haha, see what I did there. Anyways, setting off here in the MDX. First off, I really like these seats, and I'm actually quite impressed with all the stuff that this comes with, being, you know, the kind of base model version. I think that that's a really cool thing. And again, I'm so surprised, like the price of this. Honestly, I know some people are gonna be like, $50,000 is a lot of money. And it's like luxury SUV, and you look at the Honda equivalent, and this like isn't that much more. Like I think I did a Honda Pilot Trail Sport that was like 53,000 MSRP. So like, yeah, and that had similar features in turn. Like it obviously had the off-road stuff, but like, you know, heated seats and the stuff that this has, like that's it, same equipment. So it's just, yeah, it's just interesting to me. Anyways, ride quality is really good. It's very smooth SUV. So they've done a good job on that. It'll be interesting to see if the Type S is a lot like harsher compared to the regular MDX. But I think the damping on this is really good. I already know better. You gotta get in this lane now because they've got the cones pulled to the side. So then, yeah, gotta love construction. But some other stuff here. I like the overall like just design of the interior here. I will say the infotainment system, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. You know, not being a touchscreen, little pad system here. It actually, I mean, you can see, I mean, it's quick to respond, and it's pretty dang precise. It's a lot better than Lexus's little trackpad that they had in their cars a while ago. Oh, getting up and moving again. I will say the engine's got good torque. I mean, we'll get a full-blown acceleration a little bit later in the video, but it seems like it's got good get up and go overall. And it's just smooth. The 10-speed, it's very smooth powertrain setup, so I think they've done a good job with that. I will say I'm actually not using the wrist rest for the trackpad. Just like my arm rests here on the center console, and then here. It's just like, so I feel like it's actually, even though it's as funky as that is, it actually makes some level of logical sense, which I find hilarious, because like initially when I was looking at this, I was like, this is so pointless, but it actually makes a little bit of sense overall. But with that being said, let's get up and move here a little bit. Yeah, I've been paying attention to the all-wheel drives, but it looks like it'll send a little bit more power to the front. It's relatively even. So now we're in the sport mode. So everything's red and aggressive, of course. I love the gauge cluster change. I think that's another cool part of this. Yeah, the transmission is really good with this. It's very smooth with the transitions. It's definitely not like, I mean, it's not a I wouldn't call this version of the MDX performance. It's good. Like it gets up at a decent pace, but it's not insane by any means. It's relatively tame, I I guess is a good way for me to put it. The thing that's impressed me the most about the MDX is just how smooth this is. That part of it's really cool. So let's sum things up. First off, when it comes to exterior styling, I think the new MDX looks great. Even in this like more baseline form, I think they did a good job with the styling. Interior, again, with this baseline form, I like it, and it has really good fit and finish. And the materials, I like them. Like, I can tell that Acura's focused on using materials that are going to last a long time, so that when this car is, you know, 15 years old, it's not going to look like complete junk like what you could get with, you know, some other cars in this segment. And, you know, when it comes to the powertrain, I wouldn't call it quick by any means, but it's more than enough power, I'd say. And, you know, the reliability part of this powertrain is very appealing overall. So let me know what you guys think about the regular MDX, but I think that, you know, Acura's kind of undercut their non-luxury counterpart in Honda, because, I mean, like, the fact that I can get this for about the same price as a Pilot, I would just go for the MDX.